Hey everyone and welcome back, glad you could join me. Got a camcorder to look at today. At first glance this camcorder looks like the usual run-of-the-mill boring VHS-C camcorder from the 1990s, but this one has a neat hidden feature. It has a colour viewfinder. It's not an LCD viewfinder, it's actually a CRT viewfinder, but not in the sense of a colour CRT viewfinder. It uses the colour wheel technology, and that makes this camcorder very interesting indeed. The big giveaway is the lump sticking out the side of the viewfinder itself. As you can see there at the top, that houses the colour wheel. In fact, this camera appears to be quite rare. In doing a Google search, there's not much information at all about it, not even a service manual. However, I did find one other video about this that's been made by another YouTuber looking at the colour wheel technology. So in today's video, I'm going to be powering this camera up to see if we can get it working. When I last powered this up, I think it was dead. So it's going to be a case of opening this up and having a look inside. And then we'll have a look at that colour wheel technology in the viewfinder. Because I'm not really too fussed if we don't get the video camera working, it's the viewfinder itself that I'm interested in, and I'm sure that's why you're here too. But before we do that, let's have a look at the features and benefits of this camera and see what it had to offer back in the day. Design wise, it's quite a bland looking camera, and it certainly doesn't look very exciting. Straight away there you can see the usual run-of-the-mill features for a camera from this time period, although this one does boast a stabiliser. Has a backlight gain up, full auto event focus, rewind view search. Under the little flap there you have play, stop and pause, menu button, title and memory, which will probably be for the title itself. Around the front there you have a mic socket on the side of the mic, stereo microphone and a built-in lens cover as well, to protect the lens itself, and of course it says AF there for autofocus. And just underneath is a fade button. The strap on mine here is perished slightly and the glue is worn off and it's coming away. And just on the side there you have a lock and standby button and a remote control socket. On the top there you have the power button to select video or camera, and it looks like the zoom button also operates some other features of the camera as well, such as adjusting the menu and also the focus. Around the back of the camera you have an eject button, battery release and a AV output. And you've got your usual CR2032 battery backup there for the internal clock and title generator. And on the bottom there you have a tripod mount, and there's the serial number, just 469, so it's very low. Incidentally, if anybody else owns this camera, please let us know in the comments. Tell us if yours is still working and maybe how much it was new. Because like I mentioned before, I've not managed to find much information about this camera at all. Okay, now we've done the introduction, let's open this camera up, shall we, and have a look at what's going on inside. Okay, this is the power supply for it. It's a MITSUBISHI M2B. It's got a DC output basically, a plate that goes onto the back of the camera, and the spacings on this are different to the Sony's. These are slightly further apart. It just goes on the back there. But unfortunately, like I mentioned before, there is no life whatsoever using this proper charger. So I used my bench power supply, ran it on that for an hour, or left it standing there, and gradually it started to draw a little tiny bit of current as I switched it on and off on the top there, and went from standby there to lock mode, but it was only drawing like 0.08 of an amp at the most. So yeah, I'm not holding out any high hopes for this, getting this working. I think it's going to be more of an interesting look at this part here. The colour viewfinder, which is actually a black and white CRT tube in there, and it has a colour wheel just at the side there with those three colours on, and it spins at so many revolutions per second to match up with the frequency of the CRT, I believe, to give the illusion of colour. So it'll be interesting just to have a look at that. But first of all, I'm going to open this up, have a look inside like I always do with things, and see if there's anything obvious. I think we all know in our heart of hearts it's going to be bad capacitors, because this is from the 1990s when the capacitor plague hit. First of all, let's get this strap off. We'll go for those two first. Oh, there we go, it's falling off. Well, not falling off, but coming away easily. But I think there's a ribbon cable at the top there. Be careful with these things. Yeah, there is. There's a ribbon cable down there. Don't want to break in that. And there is a tape in it as well. That's a Fuji. Looks like it's at the end. Probably got somebody's holiday on it. Right, I better leave that there for a second. I think if I undo this part here, I should be able to unplug that ribbon cable. Strange how that screw doesn't want to come out. So I guess we'll go around these others now then. It's going to be a case of it all sliding out together in one piece, I think. I'm expecting that to split there actually, along that seam. But it's not wanting to budge. So I think it looks like it's coming apart around that area there. I'll go to the tripod now. Starting to see a glimpse of inside now. I can see some surface mount capacitors straight away. Well, I managed to get that screw out the top here, it was stuck. Then I noticed another one just under this door. So hopefully this should be it now. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh look, there's another one hiding behind that strap. Oh, so many screws. Even the Sonys don't have this many. There we go. Let's unplug that microphone. So that's the mic out. Oh, we've got a date code there. Well, it's older than I thought, 1992. Blimey. That is an early one. It's got 93, 94, 95, but this one was made in 1992. Amazing. I thought it was more like 95, 96. Wow. That's the front view anyway. The heads look a bit scratched. So where does this ribbon cable go? Christ. It's right inside there. Certainly not made that very easy. Oh, now we're on the other side. Here we go. Wow. Flippin' heck. There's a lot going on in there. I think what I'm going to do is unplug the viewfinder and standby controls and the zoom. Yeah, another date code there, 1992. Right, we're in. It's a very modular design. Looks like the boards will unplug. It's going to take a while to check out all these surface mount caps. From what I've seen so far, at a quick glance, they look okay. Can't see any green. Need to find the DC board. I think the purple ones are Sanyos, aren't they? Yeah, they are. It's a Sanyo cap. And I can see a little bit of corrosion there on that screw. It's brown and furry. Well, it looks like the DC board's at the back here. I think I can see, you won't be able to see it from there, that surface mount cap there, that silver one. I can see a bit of green on the foot of that one. Right, let's try and get into this a bit further. I need to get that off. Here we go. I think that's it there. That side door. Looks like it. Does it lift? Be so careful with these ribbon cables. Not very forgiving. There we go. It unplugs on this side. I think we'll just do that. Sorry if you can't see it. It's glued down at the top. There we are. The camera module, it's tiny. But the CCD area on that board there. Very small camera for the time period. Remember, it's 1992. Okay, I managed to get it off. What I could do with getting this tape out actually. I need to find where the release mechanism is. Let's have a quick look for that. There we go. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. So that's the tape out. It's very clean inside. The grease in areas has gone all hard as you would expect. And around the heads there, I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but they look warm, they look dirty. Like something's been smeared on them. But at least the tape wasn't laced up, so that would indicate basically it stopped working when it's been in storage probably. Yeah, you can see all the old grease down at the bottom there on that, it looks like the mode selector switch area. I might be wrong, but it's all built up and gone all hard by the looks of it. So if we actually see it powered up, I'll have to address that. But looking at the back of it, I think this is the DC to DC board, looks like it is. So far I've not spotted anything out of ordinary apart from that surface mount cap there is bent over. It looks like it's attached. It's not leaking that I can see. I think that's basically been done in manufacturing. I don't think it was me pulling the back off. I'll need to get my microscope out. Little lens out, have a look. Got an old slide projector thing I use for magnifying things. It looks like it's attached. Okay, so I've just taken off the DC to DC board. I thought I'd have a closer look at it underneath. And I have actually just spotted something. I'll do a close-up of this, but just there on that plug there, which connects to the rest of the camera, there is green residue there. It's like some kind of corrosion. And it's also transferred through to this plug, which is where it plugs into. And on the other side of this, there's a couple of capacitors. And yeah, you guessed it, that one there is slightly tarnished, not really badly compared to the one next to it, but it looks like it's leaked, spilling out its corrosion, which has gone through the board and onto that plug, which has probably corroded those pins. But I'm hoping I might have cleaned those out and try it again. I'm not going to take the capacitor off straight away. I'm just going to plug it in and out a few times and apply some power, see if that cleans them off, because I think that's probably stopping it from drawing any current. It's probably a bad connection. And then we'll see how we go. I'm not going to just swap it out straight away because I might get some life out of it without even doing that. So we'll do that next. Well, I'll try cleaning it out, but it made no difference whatsoever. Still drawing just a 0.08 of an amp. So next I'm going to replace some of those suspect capacitors. Let's see if that makes any difference. There we are, I've had to zoom in. As you can see, it's frothing around the base there. Quite hard to see with the naked eye because the material is the same colour as the canister, so you can easily miss it. And that one's not even anywhere near, well, it's a little bit further away than the one that I suspected, which is this one here. You can see the one on the right there is shiny on its pad, and this one next to it is dulled. And what happens is the fluid leaks out and goes through those holes in the board, those wires, and passes through to the other side, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm going to swap out those two and see how we go from there. Okay, time to get those old capacitors off. I am just going to snip these off and then I remove the legs separately. I know some people don't agree with this, but that's just the way I do it. You have to look at each case individually, and because sometimes it can be so bad, if you're trying to remove them with a soldering iron, you can actually make it worse because you're just heating it up. So this one here is quite hard to read actually. I think it's 22 UF 16 volts. So rotten. Couldn't really see it with the naked eye. Then I'm just going to lift off the little base. It usually just breaks in half. Don't know how well you can see this. And then we're left with just two little legs. It looks like it's all dried out anyway. Little bit of flux. That's it. It just comes up like that. There we go. It's like I was lucky with this one because the board's in really good condition. There's a little bit of green on there, look. Gonna lay these down on the side so that I can put everything back together. Because I've got the height basically, those purple ones, that's it. Oh, no difference replacing those two, so I'm going to look a bit further now. I'll do that off camera. I think it was that one there I spotted that was a bit green, so we'll do that one next. And what I'm probably going to do now actually is just swap out any more that I see are bad, and then we'll give it another power up. Obviously once we get that board done, there's probably going to be more around the rest of the camera. But for now I just want to try and get things to eject. That's the first thing. Okay, so after replacing all of the surface mount electrolytic caps, I'm still not getting any further with it. I did actually break a couple of traces as well in places, so I've had to box things up a bit just to continue the correct flow of things. But yeah, nothing's happening at all still. It was drawing a little bit of amperage, about 0.8 is the most I've seen it draw, but that's it. So I think what I'm going to do next is remove this sideboard here and have a look underneath, because there's another board there where the DC to DC converter plugs into. That's its first port of call. So that plugs into there basically. And I'm going to have a look on this board now and see if I can spot anything obvious on that. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think I'm ever going to see this working. My main interest is the viewfinder itself, which is probably all of your interest as well. You're probably waiting to see what's inside of that. So we'll be looking at that later on. But I just love the way this thing's put together, design-wise. There's boards there. So much thought goes into this. It makes you wonder how the design all, doesn't it? But everything's quite spaced out. Quite a big gap down in the middle there when you look down at it. But yes, a very nice design. There's not much to it at all really. When you think it's 1992, all that technology then, you know. Obviously today we have all this on our mobile phones, don't we, and more. So we'll get this board off next and have a look underneath of that. Okay, so I've had a further look after removing the side panel there of the camera itself. It's not looking good. I can see a lot more corrosion, all these surface mount capacitors. It's not really bad corrosion, but there was definitely a hint of green on all of the legs, or most of them. Especially these ones here. So I'm going to give up now on this. I'm not going to ever see this working. So I'll probably just end up putting this back together and keeping it as a curiosity piece. But before we move on to the viewfinder itself, I just wanted to show you this. This is the camera board itself. Again, it's got loads of those capacitors. Again, some of those look a little bit rough as well. But look at all these Sony chips. So many of the ICs there are made by Sony. I guess they all the chips that drive the video camera side of things itself, because this is basically the camera board. And another rusty screw just there. It's really corroded. It's so random. That's the second one I've seen like this, but I can't see another corrosion around it. And I'm thinking to myself, is it that capacitor there now looking at it actually? Because I think I can see a little bit of green on it. Yeah, there is a little bit of green around it. But I wouldn't have thought there'd be enough there inside that to make that rust, but who knows. And just behind there, just in there, is the back of the CCD itself. Little tiny motor there, look, for the focusing probably. Another one there, probably for the aperture. Another one there. In fact, that could be the aperture there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 teeny little motors there. It's a shame that we couldn't see the camera doing anything. But these things are just all self-contained. It's just a single module unit basically. A lot of messy flux residue on the bottom of that. I'm not even sure what's behind there actually. It's some kind of big metal can. I was going to completely strip this down, but it looks quite interesting when it's back together, as you saw before. So I'm not going to destroy it or anything. I might end up using it in a project. So I like to make props for things and robot heads and stuff like that, steampunk bits. I might end up using it something like that yet, because it's quite interesting to look at, isn't it? It's like half of a head there really. So we'll move on to the viewfinder next. Okay, so let's get this viewfinder open. It's just a couple of screws there to do. So, there we go. Right, it's quite a big casing, isn't it? But I'm not surprised with what's inside. Just a quick look there. Look, you've got colour adjustment and tint. Something you don't get on a black and white viewfinder. And you've got brightness there, which is what you usually just get on its own. It gives a warning on the side there about a shock, do not open. But we all listen to that, we never open anything, would we? And how boring would that be? It's no fun. It's the best bit, isn't it? Opening things up and seeing how they work. Been doing this since I was about, I don't know, 12? There we go. Another voltage, high voltage sign there, caution. There's the lens there for the viewfinder. Oh wow, there we are. There's the colour wheel. You can see it's got blue in front of it at the moment. Green. And red. Blue, green and red. Multiple times. Some kind of brass shielding there. Some adjustment pots there. Marked VR7A2 and VR7A1. the VR7V1. Very interesting. Does this just lift out? I guess this will be to do with the colour side of things. Let's just get this ribbon cable off. Yeah. Should just lift up, is it? Or is there a little, oh, I see. So that cable there doesn't go directly to the CRT board like it usually does on camcorders. It goes to this board. And there's that plastic there, just trying to remember where everything is for later on. There we are. Some more surface mount caps. That one looks a bit dull straight away. Don't look too bad. Lots of ICs there, or two ICs. Lots of shielding. And here we are, is the mechanical part. There's a little motor there. A little cone affair there. And a very small CRT just behind. Quite a short one actually. I haven't got any to hand, but that's quite a short one compared to usual. I bet that's the smallest one actually ever made looking at it. It's certainly the smallest one I've ever seen. Because normally they're sort of about back here. I guess it needs to be small to allow all this mechanical stuff. There's the CRT driver chip there that handles all the video and a horizontal and vertical and deflection. Some more capacitors. There's 3 regular capacitors there, and I can see some surface mount ones at the back. Now, I've not had this powered up, so it's not taking power, so I don't have to worry about any high voltage. But you can still get a kick out of one this small, although I've never experienced it. I certainly don't want to find out the hard way. I'm pleased to say they look okay. Can't see any, they look quite shiny. Yeah, they do. Very clean in there. Very clean, so that's good news. Because it would be good to get this working on its own, wouldn't it? And then from another video I've seen, they said on initial power up, the motor goes completely crazy on theirs. It goes really fast because it has to spin at the correct revolutions per second in order for it to work. You can see that, look, me just doing it slowly. Gives you an idea of what's going on. And of course this technology was out as back as far as the 1940s. It's very interesting. Stuff like this absolutely fascinates me. But basically that's all the add-on stuff for this. And that's your regular bits there. So I see that connects at that point there, look. So I guess everything goes through this, power and video. Wow. I bet this just lifts out. Oh, I see there's a couple of screws there. There's one there, one there. I don't think we need to take that apart though, do we? And I think if I do get this going eventually, there's a little, so that was just an inspection cover then of some sort. It's interesting. That's just dropped off. But there's nothing there really. There's only some adjustment obviously for the focusing. Strange. Yeah, going forward I think if I do get this working I'll probably make a little display stand for it. Because it's very interesting technology. I guess the next thing to do is to try and power this thing up. And see if it will take a signal. See what happens. So we'll do that next. So this is the main connecting point here. This is where we'll be applying power. And I'm just looking at this a bit closer. And those pins look a bit dark. Just there. I don't know if it's flux, but then I turn this over. That end pin there looks like it might be a bit green. So there's a close-up there of those connecting points. That's where that plug plugs into. That's going through the side of the viewfinder. They look a little bit grotty, don't they? And then when I look at the socket on the other side, not really bad. It's a bit dark inside, like something's leaked. And I think these 2 capacitors here, I think they're the ones that have probably leaked. But I might just try it as it is for now. As you can see at the minute, there's nothing leaking out of them badly, but sometimes when you apply power to these things, they can start thropping up. Okay, so probing around on here, the earth is easy to find, obviously just going against the shield there, found that, or ground rather. It's the third one in, or should I say, if we count it from the brown side, fourth one along, and the positive is the second one. So I'm going to cut those in half. I'll do it in such a way as to, just in case I end up reassembling the camcorder one day, which I don't think I will. But I'll leave enough on there so I can join it again if necessary. In fact, let's just go over that with a pen a bit further. I can apply power to that in a moment. Okay, I can reassemble that now. Plugs into there. Right. I'm ready to apply some power now then, so I'll get set up for that next. Okay, so I've got a 5-volt power supply plugged into the viewfinder. So let's see what happens. It's spinning. Nothing's coming up on the CRT screen. It's not lighting up. But the little wheel is spinning. I don't know if you can see that. Very quiet. Drawing 0.34 amps. I'm going to turn it off now, just check the brightness part underneath the viewfinder itself. At least it's spinning something. Now where was the brightness? Was it underneath? It is. I wonder if someone's been fiddling with it. Right, let's try it again. Oh, here we go. That's it. It's spinning round and it's doing what it should do by the looks of things. I'm not quite sure what this will look like on camera, but for me looking at it with the naked eye, I can see the colours flickering. It looks like it might be out of sync actually. I guess someone turned the brightness down. Excellent, it's actually doing something. It's so fascinating to watch. You can only just hear it. So I think the next thing to do then is to apply a signal. And see if you get an image on the screen, see if it looks right. Excellent. Okay, so I've got things wired up now and I've got a cable here to plug in or touch on the contacts of the plug to find out which one's a video input. So let's just reapply power. There we are, it's spinning up, it's running. I'm going to go for the obvious first, brown. Sorry if it moves. After going through all the connections on this little plug, I eventually found it. It turns out that the brightness was just a bit too high, so I couldn't see anything on the screen. Yeah, that is it. That was the input. But it's looking a bit out of focus. Can't really make out much. See my fingers there. It might just because it's so small it's not being magnified. There we go. So it's a very strange thing to look at. Doesn't look colour to me. I think it's too bright. Try turning it down again a bit more. There we go. It was too bright and that does look like colour. I don't think you can see it though, can you, on this camera? There we go. Let's find something with a bit more colour. What we got? And there you go, after some messing around I managed to get it in focus. So I've got that Lego brick there being filmed by that video camera going into this. It's a miracle, isn't it, that it still works. And if you look behind there, you can just see the black and white viewfinder. And that wheel spinning at the right revolutions per second to make it colour, or look like colour anyway, appear to be colour. It'd be interesting to make a large version of this, wouldn't it? But it's getting the fields right, the order of the fields, I guess. And the frequency. I think the tube is run slightly higher than a regular tube. But yeah, really pleased about that. It's amazing. I suppose the next thing to do really is to try and mount this into something and have it as a display piece. That would be interesting, without breaking it. Found out what the pins were in the end. The camcorder's gone into demonstration mode now. Just turn it on and off again. Yes, quite a good image actually as well. It's quite sharp. Just goes to show CRT was still better than LCD for the time period. Because back in 1992 LCD screens were awful. Well, there you have it. I think that just about brings me to the end of this video. One thing to note, this is the second day now I've been working on this. And when I powered this thing back up today, unfortunately it wasn't working properly at first. First off, the little wheel wasn't spinning, and I was only getting a white screen on the CRT tube. But after a few moments of being sat there, things slowly started to come back to life. Slowly it came through one colour at a time, and as the wheel spun up and got into sync, things seemed to come through again, and it's working fine, as you can see here. And this is me filming off of the little CRT screen in front of the colour wheel. It's a remarkable piece of technology, isn't it? And it's so small as well. This is definitely my smallest CRT that I own, going depth-wise anyway. All the other ones that I have are a lot deeper than this, as I've shown you before. I think going forward it's probably going to need a recap. There's no two ways about it, and that's probably why it didn't come on straight away. I think those surface mount capacitors are starting to fail, unfortunately. Going forward, I think I'm going to take this out of this plastic casing. I'm going to make a little base for it, and a little dust cover as well, an acrylic case I think. So I think it deserves it. I'm going to make, I've got quite a few CRTs, and as someone else has said in another video, another YouTuber, they're doing the same thing as well, they're 3D printing theirs. I'm just going to make mine probably out of wood, because that's what I like working with. So stay tuned for that, because that'll be another video. These cameras don't seem to pop up very often, certainly not from what I've seen anyway. Bought this one myself off eBay a couple of years ago now. Feel quite bad about taking it apart and thinking about that. But obviously it's an old camera, and obviously we want to see how it worked, didn't we? The camcorder itself is never going to work again, so I shall probably end up doing what I said with the viewfinder, making a little base for it. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that with me. It's certainly been very interesting, hasn't it? Looking at this little tiny CRT screen and seeing the colour wheel working. And I'm very lucky that it is working, well, for now at least. Well, with all that in mind, I guess that just leaves me to say, as always, thanks for watching. And until the next video, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some old piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.